Hi, this is Father Jimmy. In light of Governor Edwards' proclamation on Monday of the reopening of state for phase one, I thought it would be an appropriate time to give a parish update. It still does concern me greatly that the number of cases of coronavirus is still growing all across the world, and even the number of deaths. Thank God I can say I'm not the one who has to make this decision. I pray that as we do move into phase one, that we do so with patience and compassion for one another. There remains a great danger of infection, sickness, and even death. I am not trying to be dramatic. I am only trying to temper any possible visions that all should be back to normal or the virus was not that bad after all. I would not encourage or discourage anyone from going out in public or coming to church. I would encourage that if we go out into public, to wear a face mask when in close proximity to others. I do find that mask makes breathing difficult. As soon as I leave a store, the mask comes off, if there is a contact-free path to my car. I thought that the teachers and administration at our school had a tough job when distance learning became the new normal. With phase one, child care centers can reopen and planning for summer camp has begun. Many of the parents with children in our early childhood development program have to return to work. How do we create a space for infants 1 and 2-year-olds that is safe and healthy and also balancing the demands for physical contact and interaction? There are no handbooks for this. Please pray for our administration as we make the difficult decisions as we move along. I have left the church open for prayer and adoration from the beginning, but have made changes to masses in order to respect the official decrees. I reinstated regular masses 2 weeks ago after I taped off 2 of every 3 pews and removed the books and cards from the pews. There are cards for the prayer of Our Lady of Prompt Succor during this pandemic in the pews. I ask that after sitting in a spot with a prayer card, please take the prayer card with you. This will aid in not only passing on contacted material, but also indicate where we need to wipe down surfaces. Please do not forget to wear a mask while in church. Archbishop Amen has not, I repeat, has not reinstated the obligation to attend Sunday Mass. Yet there is always a personal responsibility to make a good decision about when to attend Mass. I do not believe that there is a question of sin when a person has a sincere desire to attend Mass, but is prevented from doing so by external circumstances. Rejoice that there is a desire and leave the rest in God's hands. His grace will suffice. There has been more than sufficient space for people at all the weekend masses over the past 2 weeks. With the recent phase one, this may change this weekend. There are fewer people at weekday masses, so I ask that you consider these in making a decision when to return to Mass. If you make the decision to attend Sunday Mass, I ask that you follow a few precautions. Please fill in the open pews from the front to the rear of the church. This will alleviate, to a degree, people crossing one another in the aisles, and also makes it easier for people to find an open spot when they arrive after you. Please sit towards the aisles This will maintain space in between people on each side of the pews. If there are no open pews, please do not try to find an alternative space. Please offer to God the effort that you made to attend and know that His grace is sufficient. We have stored the books in the back foyer of church. If you want a missalette, you are free to take one, but please bring it with you and do not return it to the pile. Please continue to use it as your personal missalette till the date expires or the precautions are lifted. We will continue live streaming the 10 a.m. Mass and the 12 noon Mass. Monday through Friday, the Rosary, evening prayer, and Mass will also be live streamed. Please check the ICC webpage for times and links. I would also like to take a moment to discuss a significant change in our parish. Last year, an agreement was made between two other West Bank parishes with Hispanic communities to share an associate. The new priest would be assigned to Immaculate Conception, where he would serve half-time, and we would be responsible for half his salary and benefits. The other half of this time would be split between the other two parishes. They were each to be responsible for 1/4 of his salary and benefits. It was agreed that Immaculate Conception would pay his full salary and benefits and then be reimbursed by the two other parishes. Unfortunately, this agreement quickly fell apart. It has been a nightmare for Dolores and me to recover the expenses. Under the present conditions, we could no longer continue with this arrangement. Due to our financial situation, we cannot afford the expenses of a full-time associate. Due to these unfortunate situations, Father Steve will no longer be assigned at Immaculate Conception. The demographic changes of our parish have been extremely challenging for pastoral planning. Up until the year 2000, I would imagine we had well over 2,000 registered families. With the recent cleaning up of our parish database, we are now about 700 registered families. These numbers fall well under the archdiocesan limit for a second priest to only parishes with above 1,500 registered families. Yes, we have a large school, and we have masses in 2 languages. This is the reason that we have maintained a second priest for so many years. I was told that Father Cooper and Father Damien often had capital campaigns in order to cover the deficits. During the last 6 years, we have faced significant financial challenges. The sale of the 3 properties on 7th Street and the convent all provided significant but non-reoccurring income. We only have about $25,000 left from these sales. Last year, our school received a settlement for the BP oil spill. In order to aid the parish, I have asked that a significant part of the school's insurance be paid out of these funds for the next 4 years. Even with this aid, our collections cannot maintain the expenses of a second priest. We may even face a deficit without a second priest. There will be some changes, but nothing dramatic. The pandemic has brought much greater changes and challenges to our lives. I am grateful to all those who have put out the extra effort to make your contributions to our parish during this time. They are greatly needed and appreciated. Thankfully, we also qualify for the small business loans given by the government. I have continued to pay all parish staff during this time. They have been wonderful by working when they are needed. I will also be challenging the members of our financial council to study our financial records and form a plan and perspective for the future. How often I have prayed for greater clarity in life and a freedom from turmoil and conflict. Rarely have I experienced the desires of this supplication. Nothing seems to be easy or straightforward. But looking back, I do see that God's grace has been sufficient. Jesus told us so often that we need to die to self in order to truly have life. I have been blessed during the past 6 years to hear countless stories of struggles, triumph, and the blessed lives of the people of Immaculate Conception Parish. Our parish was founded not long after World War I and the Spanish flu pandemic, and then went on to endure the Great Depression and World War II. We have struggled and endured. From the humble beginnings of a wooden church and school building to build a modern church, school, and even high school. This was not an easy task, as our zigzagging property lines attest to. What a great debt we owe to all those who have made it work. As we approach our 100th anniversary, I can only imagine that we will endure these current struggles and continue to leave a lasting legacy of faith and love for those who will follow. I cannot imagine how the new normal will look after the coronavirus in the future. When will the threat of the coronavirus truly diminish? I do not know. What I do know is that when we strive to do all we can with patience and love and leave the rest in the loving hands of God, His grace is sufficient. I pray that we give the same resounding yes as Mary, the Immaculate Conception, to bear Jesus for our community and our world this day. May God bless you and lead us forward.